Welcome to Bruno's MMA show. I am here today again with my friend Mathieu, and we are going to talk about Mike Tyson, more specifically the fact that he's back. So, Mathieu, tell me, what do you think about that?
I think Mike's comeback is going to be real interesting. I'm not sure if I think that he needs to fight an actual fight other than exhibitions for charity. But I think it's interesting to see Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, coming back. Actually, not Mike, but Iron Mike coming back at 53 years old, and he's in amazing shape. He's what an amazing shape is he in right now?
Yeah. Yeah, we did see him shirtless in the, I don't know if you saw that clip, All Elite Wrestling, like this pro wrestling thing. It was like,
Yes, yeah, of course. I love wrestling. I love wrestling. But
yeah,
that's the funny part is Mike Tyson. He acts like a child on TV, but yet he's the baddest man on earth. So the guy can do this and rip his shirt, act like a kid, but he's Iron Mike. It's crazy. It's funny though, but it's good because Mike actually played a big part in professional wrestling. Not everybody knows that, but in 1998, Mike Tyson went to the WWF, well now WWE, and he had an angle with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince McMahon, and Shawn Michaels. And at that time in 1998, Vince McMahon and the WWE now then, uh, business was starting to get better, but the competition WCW was killing them. And at that time, uh, not to get into the detail, but Mike, I think, came out of prison, and then he was suspended for 2 years by the Boxing Association for biting Holyfield's ear, and he paid Mike Tyson a couple of $1 million, and he put it all on the line if it's going to make or break. When Tyson came in, the media just ate it all up, and Mike Tyson came in, delivered huge television ratings, huge television ratings, at a Donald Trump television ratings, the way he would say it, the greatest ratings. And the buy rates for WrestleMania, they had like a lot of, I think close to 1 million, which was back then, which was amazing as far as 1998 numbers are concerned. And he brought in the Attitude Era in professional wrestling that is 20 years after is still so remembered and so wanted still again. So yeah, Mike played a big role in professional wrestling. Not everybody knows that.
So I think that, you say that, and I think okay, I don't want to go in too much of a tangent about pro wrestling because I don't watch it, and but
I do.
I seem to remember that he didn't do matches. He just showed up. He would beat up someone
Yeah, he
quickly
showed up.
sometimes, but he wouldn't do actual pro wrestling matches, right?
He might do it now. We'll see. Because in 2010, he was in a tag team match with Chris Jericho and the Generation X, and he turned his back on in the storyline against Jericho, and he punched him. So now, 10 years later, he's back in All Elite Wrestling against Chris Jericho. So, and Chris Jericho is amazing because Jericho, not getting too much into wrestling, he's the best. He's the best ever. So he's going to be able to bring in Tyson and help him a lot during their feud, their match. It's going to be very interesting to see Jericho and Tyson because they're both amazing.
It's kind of funny because as we're okay, I think we kind of went on a tangent right away, but I just want to say something that's amazing about Mike Tyson is that he's kind of this mythological figure, right?
Yeah.
And him coming back. And now you went into your geek stuff about pro wrestling, like you showed us your geeky side. I'm gonna show mine. I'm gonna show my geeky side. I'm a big fan of Batman, as people who follow my show know already, because I had a whole episode with Gozali about Batman's fighting styles in the movies and all that. But one of the greatest Batman stories ever is Dark Knight Returns, and that story, if you don't know, the same way I don't know what Attitude Era is in wrestling, I'm going to explain to you. Dark Knight Returns is about Batman who's old and he's not in his prime anymore, but he's still a
Yeah.
badass, and he's retired and he can't handle it anymore, and he comes back, and it's so inspiring. And
Yeah.
seeing Mike hit the pads, it kind of felt like the Dark Knight Returns. What I mean by that is that you have this mythological figure who we thought was gone, because even though Mike was alive,
Yeah.
we saw him soften a lot, and which is good in a sense that look, I'm gonna be a bit controversial, but I don't think in his youth he was the best guy around. Like I don't mean in fighting. I mean
Yeah.
like the attitude was not maybe the best someone could have. But in his, he certainly has a lot of wisdom now. And you when you hear him give advice to Francis Ngannou in Mike's podcast, and
Yeah.
it is good advice. It is knowing advice. But the thing is that you saw him soften, so that Iron Mike, as you were calling him, uh, his name as a badass, it was kind of like a thing of the past. And now we see him back, and I don't care how much in his prime or like how much past his prime he is or isn't or whatever. Just the fact that he's back, that guy, that mentality, that like fighting spirit, and
Yeah.
to me, it doesn't even matter how much of it he still has. It feels like he's back, and that's exciting in itself.
It
And we're
is. It
talking,
is.
yeah. But just to quickly go beyond that, but then now that he is, it's kind of weird how it's kind of weird because I think the smartest move for him in some way, it's not what he wants, but yeah, go to pro wrestling, do something, do movies or do safer stuff because pro wrestling is not safe, but if they use him, they're not gonna make him do the flips. You know what I mean? Like he would do the easy stuff
Yeah.
around the people doing the flips. So,
Sure.
but at the same time, you kind of like he's gonna do if he does a fight, even if it's exhibition, what are we gonna see? And that in itself is kind of scary, right? Because if he's back, we don't want him to fall. You know what I mean?
No, we don't. But the thing is, he's in phenomenal shape. We've seen the videos. The guy can deliver. The guy can punch anybody. And again, we're not sure if it's going to be a fight. Look, the fact that Mike Tyson is back, and it's a different Mike Tyson than we had 15 years ago. People forgave the old Mike Tyson what he did. Not getting into the detail, but the suspensions, the jail, and all of these things, the controversies. Mike's a new man, and I think he's misunderstood as a person. And now the fact that he's back and he's enjoying what he does. He had documentaries about him. He had his world tour to discuss, his life, which was a phenomenal success. Uh, He's got T-shirts now. He's got magazines. He's got TV. People like him again, and they always did. But it takes time to heal. I guess for him, he lost his daughter. Don't forget about it. He lost his daughter in a tragic way. So all of his life, he's been told what to do, and he never had the right people around him. Now I think he does. It's a retribution time to end his career on his own terms. And with what he gave to the sport and the world, because Mike Tyson, although we've seen how badass he is and how some of the stuff that he did, but he likes animals. He likes birds. He's a very peaceful person, as we can see. Yeah, he's in his own world. He's special, but to the contribution that he gave to us, the excitement to the fan, as you and I, and the matches that he did, and what he gave to the world. Now let's give him a chance to finish on his own terms and be able to be okay. Like I lost my last match, my last two matches. Things went well in my life with the drugs and everything like that. Now he's clean, he's good. So imagine what a clean Mike Tyson can do with his head and the right people around him. He can do amazing stuff, and that's the great thing about his legacies. You want to leave people with a great image. So sometimes, look, example, you see people sometimes on Facebook, okay? Regardless of what they do, they could be teachers, police officers. Look at the situation right now. You serve, you do something great, but your legacy is the image that we're going to see from you, like that cop with what happened. His legacy, regardless of what he did in the past, will be that image with his knee and the neck of the person saying, I can't breathe. So, regardless of what he did in the past, the guy could have found a cure for cancer, but that's what we will remember him for. And
Yeah.
Mike
No,
Tyson
and
now,
just as a side note, and I know what you're saying, but I want to just clarify
yeah,
before anything is misunderstood here. What that guy did, like, there's a history, and I know and I want to specify that Mathieu Leonard is someone who is involved in politics, and because I know how the internet can be, where you take something out of context and you
yes,
fight against
exactly.
racism in politics, and I want to say that about you right now because we are talking about something complex, and the internet is not always good about complexity, but just so we are all clear, like Mathieu and I both know that this cop in question had a
Yeah,
history of repeated racism and violence against people and should never have been a cop in the first place, or at least not I don't know how it was
exactly.
when he started, but he should never have been a Cub. And that, I want to make that
But
clear
that's what
because
I'm
you're
trying to
talking about
say.
something complex, and I got your
Yeah,
back, you know.
thank you. But that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
and I could have taken another story, but now this is the hot story. But the last image that people have of you will stick forever. And Mike, for such a long time, you had that image, the prison image, the bad boy image, the stuff
The
that he
ear
did
bite.
on TV image, exactly, the ear bite. And now it's a chance for him to come back and give us, well, the old generation, our generation, and the new generation who've heard so much about him, a chance to be like, okay, wow, so this is Iron Mike Tyson. This is the guy. And as I said, finish his career on his own terms, which I think is well deserved for what he did. But just make sure Don King is not present.
No, yeah, that's a tragedy of Mike's life is that Cosnemato died very early in his career. That is the eternal tragedy in many ways I think of. And I think, I
Yeah.
don't know if he said as much, but I think he at least implied it himself. And you know what? Look, I'm going to address this because I think in the show in the past I've been very harsh with fighters like Greg Hardy who've been known to be abusive towards women. So, Mathieu, you don't need to get involved in this, but you brought up the fact that he was in jail, and I just want to kind of bring it up because I'm not a hypocrite. I want to give some context, at least regarding myself. So I'm going to speak for myself here. But to me, you're innocent until proven guilty, and that's
Yeah.
how I see things. And normally, the law will determine if someone is guilty or not. But
Yeah.
for that, you need a fair trial. And
Yeah.
I'll leave it to anyone's opinion. I just don't think the trial was fair. So I'm not saying Mike was an angel when he went to jail, but
Yeah.
or even that he was a gentleman. I'm not saying, but I will say that innocent until proven guilty, and that is also have a
Yeah.
fair trial. If you don't have a fair trial, to me, it's still innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not gonna condemn someone for.
No, so
And look, I'm certainly not saying like we should take like because look, I'm condemning Greg Hardy for doing something that's less than what Mike was accused of. So let's be clear, like I'm not make
yeah.
belittling any of that, but I really think that you need a fair trial in order to say that guy was guilty for sure. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that. So I want to clarify my stance on that, and Mathieu, I know that this is a touchy subject. I'm speaking for myself. I just
Yeah. No, for sure.
because
And
we
that's
brought it up in conversation,
I could
so.
have taken any other example, but that's the first example that came out was that cop. So all I'm
Yeah.
saying is Mike, regardless of what he did or what he did not do, and the trial and this and that, as a human being, was gentle and he's done a lot for the sport. He deserves one last dance. Yeah, he does.
I have mixed feelings about many possibilities he has outside of like we mentioned pro wrestling. So he's already and you can tell he's having fun because even when he's flexing,
Have
you can tell he's smiling,
fun.
having fun.
Yeah,
And, it's like okay,
yeah,
it's kind of funny how the most like he's so intimidating and so threatening when he's angry, but you can tell that he was so unthreatening in the wrestling thing because
yeah,
you can tell that it's so transparent that he's just having fun that
yeah,
it's so funny how someone can have the potential to be so threatening look so unthreatening because he was having fun. But
yeah.
if you go to actual fighting, and this is where I have like pros and cons about many things here. And I'm going to go through a short list here or even organizations, and I also want your feedback on this. Okay,
Okay.
we mentioned the year, okay? And so Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson made peace. Like Holyfield was even in his podcast.
Yeah,
And, you
yeah.
know, now, because they made peace, how would you feel about an exhibition match, like a few rounds, not 12 and not 10, of Tyson and Holyfield? Do you think that would be in bad taste at this point? Or do you think, oh, yeah, well, because Evander is also back, it seems.
Yeah, he is. Well, not really, because it's between them. It doesn't concern us. We can have an opinion, but at the end of the day, if Mike and Holyfield are okay with an exhibition match with the helmet on, well, number one, his ear can't be bitten with a helmet, so that's good. And number two, no, I mean, the past is the past. I mean, the past is the past, man. If they want to do it, good for them.
Thank
Let
you.
them have their fun and make their money.
You know, you're such a big fan of
We
Mike.
can cut that
All
page,
the
that
people who
part
could have made
out.
that joke, I did not think it would be you.
Or
That was
we can
amazing.
cut that. We can cut that part out if anything. But yeah, no. I mean, if they want to do it, good. If they don't, doesn't matter. It's at this point, it's just make sure you look good. You know.
Yeah. Because I do feel like if they do it, they're gonna really go easy on each other. Maybe I'm wrong, but that would be a perspective, which is also fine. But then
Yeah.
I don't know if we get that feeling of he's back. You know what I mean? Like it would just be like here's a demonstration of technique, but I kind of want to see if he can knock someone out, which is really morbid. But I really want to see if he can. So I don't know if Holyfield is the one that makes sense because they're not in their prime anymore. So we don't need to see that fight a third time. I don't think. I think it's more meaningful that they make peace and that they're not going to be fighting anymore. I think that's
Yeah.
more meaningful um,
Look,
because
Leonard Lewis could come back on the competition also. You know, we could
yeah,
have that too. It doesn't matter as long as they're in shape and they look good and they're protected. And if the money's right, look, they can do it. Like there's a lot of people. Tyson Fury said he would fight Tyson. Ken Shamrock said he would fight Tyson. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants. You see that? That's the exact thing. Everybody wants their name in because Mike Tyson is money. And
yeah,
regardless of what we say, people in their prime or other prime, they still want to fight Tyson. You know what? Because it's money and it's free publicity, and that's how important Mike Tyson is to the business and in this world. So just with that, he deserves his last dance. So, no, regardless if it's Holyfield, Shamrock, Tyson Fury, what's his name? The guy who lost against Tyson Fury. Yeah, Wilder. Yeah, it
yeah.
could be Wilder, could be anybody. They don't want to square up against Mike Tyson. He knows he's gonna kick their
Uh,
ass. But
wait,
number
wait,
two,
wait.
it's fun and
You're
publicity.
wait. You're saying that Tyson Fury, the current champion heavyweight, at least one of them, because not all the belts are together, as you know as a boxing fan. And I just saw that expression you made, which is very frustrating for boxing fans, I'm sure. But you think that Mike Tyson could knock out Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury is a good boxer. Wilder's a good boxer, but they're just puncher chores. There's no technique. You can't destroy technique, and that's when Conor McGregor, okay, beat Aldo, precision and timing. And Tyson, nobody can match Tyson on timing. People could they tried to beat Tyson, they couldn't match his timing. And there's a thing about boxing, heavyweights fighting. It's not just throwing punches and who's the power puncher. No, no, no. Tyson had the power, but he had the technique, the head movement. So there's no way these guys, this generation, even today, this generation, Joshua, name it, they don't have the technique that Tyson still has today. It's in you or it's not. Tyson had it. And the quickness of Mike Tyson, if he gets to you, I don't care who you are, you could be an elephant. You're going to get it and you're going to go down because Tyson masters everything that they don't. Look at example, Wilder. All the respect to Wilder, the guy has no technique. It's not nice to see him fight. It's nice to see him knock out people because he knows how to knock out people. But that's it. Look at the people that he fight. There's no technique in almost in the heavyweight division. Mike had it. Mike worked on it a lot, and he perfected his art. So yeah, he could knock down anybody to this day. But I don't think he could last 12 rounds. He's got to make it quick. He's got to be in shape. He's got to make sure that he can still handle taking a punch. But yes, I think that Mike Tyson to this day could still knock out people out because he's got technique and he can't fake technique.
So you think that, for example, when Lennox Lewis was able to keep it at bay with his length, and so you don't think that any of the current champions would be able to replicate that?
Tyson Lewis happened too late. Tyson wasn't in his prime. He had his demons. That's the Tyson in his prime would have been a different story. And yes, today I don't think these guys could keep up on Mike Tyson, even although he's older than them. Uh, Today, the problem, I think, in the heavyweight divisions, they only fight for knockout, and I want to be the best. That's it. Well, Tyson, he perfects the art that they don't. So he had the right people, the right trainers, and the right mindset to become a champion. Look, at 19 years old, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. People are petrified of the guy,
Mhm.
petrified. So yeah, I think that Mike is. I don't think he should come back to actual fights, just exhibitions to raise money and get paid. But yeah, I think he's out there.
Okay. So I'm going to address the next few points because, and this, look, obviously, I want to start with this. They're obviously just saying that, well, I think it's something they say knowing it's not going to happen, but they just want to get their name out there. And look, it worked. I'm going to mention it. Bare knuckle boxing. I'm going to give pros and cons with that idea. I don't like it, but I'm actually going to be fair enough and give pros to that idea, even though I don't like it. So they offered, what was it, 20 million to Mike, and then they opted an insane amount of money to go to bare knuckle. And they offered Shannon Briggs, now they're offering Vanderlei Silva, and which is of all the crossovers, that seems like a weird one. But basically, I'm gonna give my short opinion. I want to know what you think afterwards. But first of all, I don't like the idea of. It's kind of weird how I think bare knuckle should be a thing that if you do it, you're young. And ironically, a lot of older people are going there because it's kind of like this last place to go or something. Like I don't think older people should be fighting bare knuckle. But at the same time, the rule set is really made about short rounds. I don't like it either. But I'm just kind of like throwing.
Okay, cut you off. It's not gonna happen. It's never gonna
No.
happen. You know what? Because bare knuckle doesn't have the money for that. The only case said I'm gonna give you guys Mike 20 million just so to get that free publicity. There's no way. There's no way they'll be able to pay Mike 20 million. I don't even know if they have a TV contract and paper. They might get a bit of money here and there, but trust me, if you go the guys who go there are washed up and they just need they need a paycheck. That's it. There's no ways if we're gonna go there. Look, the guy can get anybody he wants. Think he's going to go to lower himself to bare knuckle fighting? Absolutely not. The guy could do the UFC. That would be legitimate. Boxing, that would be HBO, Showtime, CBS. There's no way he's going to go fight on pay-per-view with bare knuckle. Forget about them. It's never going to happen. Never.
I don't think it will happen either. I was just kind of like having fun with the idea just to kind of like discuss it. But first
they're
of all,
having fun because they're getting published.
Yeah,
that's it.
It worked. I mentioned it. It worked. But no, the thing about bare knuckle, maybe that could be some video. Is it's kind of ironic how if you're gonna do it, I feel like it's a young man's fighting sport.
Yeah.
But we see a lot of older fighters going into it. Now, not all of them, but I really feel like at some point at a certain age, you shouldn't be losing that much blood. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anyway, and maybe some people disagree with me very strongly in this, but I want to say I think it's like bare knuckle is a legitimate fighting sport if you go there and that's what you want to do for sure. I know some people trash it. I don't trash it at all. I think it's legitimate, but that's not how I would like to see Mike Tyson come back to fighting. Certainly not. That I think at his age, it shouldn't be something that putting your face in a meat grinder. You know what I mean? Like that's not what we want to see. I don't think.
Yeah.
And you mentioned UFC and all that, and I think that at his age right now, like I don't think it's time for him to start having to deal with like double like takedowns. I think we just want to see like Mike Tyson thing, like.
No, what I was saying is just that the UFC is a more reputable organization than bare knuckle, but he's not going to do it. He will never. I mean, not in his age. He's going to do what he's got to do, and where it pays the most, where it's the best, the less trouble, the less punch. He's gonna go where he has to go.
Yeah. What would you let's see, like kind of like as a concluding thought, and because you're more of a boxing fan, I kind of want to leave this one open to you. But now that he's back, what is it that you want to see him do for how long? How like what's your as a boxing fan? What's your ideal thing that you want to see, and then when do you want it to be done? Do you know what I mean? Like overall, what would you like?
I want him. I want him to have a few exhibition or one, if anything, just one. And I want him to come to Montreal and have like a tour and discuss his career like he did. That's all I want to see him do, That's what I want to see him do, and I want to see him. I want to see him happy for what he gave to the sport, That's it,
Okay, so it's just like you don't want him to stay too long, even if he does very well. Okay.
No.
And do you want him to just? This is a weird question, I know, but because like despite myself, I try not to be too morbid about it, but the kind of the excitement about Mike was how he knocked people out. Do you want him to just go in an exhibition match, show some technique with someone, and then that's it? Or do you want him to actually be knocking someone out, or what is that you want to see him do? Or
I just want to see him having fun. That's it, That's all.
yeah,
Just come back once, do your exhibition, and then walk away.
yeah, it's crazy.
Don't be
It's crazy.
too greedy with the money.
Yeah, it's crazy because we never thought we'd see the day, right? I think we were all like, I
No,
think that was just a logical figure that was gone, and then we had the current Mike Tyson, like was kind of like what we have now. We never thought we'd see that one come back. It's kind
no, never did. No,
of
no. Just come back once because now that the excitement is there, come back once, do that one exhibition, that one fight, and then walk away with your dignity. Because then, if it becomes too much, then it's not gonna be as fun anymore, as exciting as now. So no, one time only.
yeah. There's only something to be said about for sure we want to see him back, but I wouldn't want to see him um stick around too long, getting hurt or stuff like that. Even if he
No
wins,
one.
like that's not something that we want to see for sure. And as we talk about it, even though I make jokes about the knockouts and all that, I think what I will want to see is for him to become more of he's already that I think, but an inspiring figure. Do exhibition matches based on technique, not necessarily being in an actual fight with someone, not trying to knock each other out, just like
Yeah,
maybe having exchanges, and I think that would be really fun because then it would kind of be a thing like, look, he's still active, he's still like displaying the skill of the sport, but he's not out there,
yeah,
like in wars. I think that would be really nice
yeah,
to see. Um,
yeah.
but
For sure.
yeah, yeah. But I think when an announcement is made, we're probably gonna do this again,
Most likely, yes.
huh?
Most likely. Maybe about Tyson.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen. Thank you very much for coming once again. And you
Thank you
know
very
that
much,
you're my
Mike.
go-to guy for boxing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mathieu,
We'll do it again. Do it again. Yeah,
go ahead.
we'll do it again when there's big fights and big stuff about boxing. It'll be my pleasure to come back and discuss and agree or disagree.
Yeah. Well, no, I think so far we pretty much agree. When we disagree, I think it'll also be funny. For those who don't know, Mathieu and I know each other outside of the show, and we do like to we do like to give trouble to each other in conversation. But yeah, no. So when it comes to fighting, I think we. No, wait. Actually, we often disagree. How come we haven't disagreed on the show yet? It's crazy.
I don't know. I have no idea, but you should wear Conor McGregor shirt next time.
There it is. I don't think that's gonna happen. But you know what? I'm forever gonna remind you that you made a joke about Mike Tyson biting Holyfield's ear and like with the with the headgear he'll be safe. I'm forever gonna remind you made that joke. I thought you were a Mike Tyson fan, man.
If ever Mike Tyson hear this, listen. It wasn't intentionally. It's just a joke. Please don't take it seriously.
Too late, man. I'm not editing that. Okay, okay. Enough messing
I
around.
know.
So everyone, let's say we'll do anything. You're much for coming, and let's do this again as soon as they have an announcement. And everyone,
Absolutely. Wonderful.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
good day.
You too.